Good morning. It is Monday, November 14th, and I'm opening the last module for the class. Um, I had the pleasure of Saturday of reading and catching up with the discussion board, though I realized this morning that catching up was only lasted a little while, and so I'll be catching up the rest of the way with everything that was posted in the afternoon, Saturday and Sunday. I will be getting to grading discussion 5. I worked on grading your projects first so that you'd have that quicker, and I will be then working on um, project discussion 5 grading and discussion 6 grading, so that we'll be up to date there. You're on your this You have 2 things left to do. Your discussion 7, and this week's is kind of like taking action. What now? And I know the election has happened and is causing a lot of discussion and a lot of stir, and my thoughts or feelings is kind of as a, if I really believe in social justice and I believe in equity, then everyone needs to be able to express and share their thoughts and feelings. And so I'm hopeful that um, we will be able to have some dialogue without shutting down groups and individuals and people. And I'm hoping that there'll be some pro-action in terms of some of the bullying and hate that has been reported. I'm also not naive to think that bullying and hate has been going on all along, and now the media is just tending to it in a way that is making it, I don't know, more spectacular. I am definitely a lot more skeptical of the media, and have had some really interesting discussions with friends and families and family members. And I also recognize that I'm very privileged in my world, that while my marriage may be at stake ultimately, um, that would not be the end of the world for me. I will not be threatened to be deported, or my life would not be considered less than in instances. So it's an interesting time. It's been really interesting to read all the critiques. I've read a lot of people with the safety pins, and how, again, it's white people who are worrying about looking racist or not looking racist. And I think black people and other people of color are just kind of tired of it being about white people, for the most part. But I also think it was the interesting commentary of a white lashing that occurred. And I do think there's a group of individuals who are really disenfranchised in this country beyond those that we consider diverse. That there is a large white population that feels really disenfranchised, and that's who voted and who sent a message. And I don't think we can discount their disenfranchisement any more than we should discount anyone else's. So, and if you, I know I think I put this in a lot of discussion posts, and I got this book from y'all, but the Hillbilly Elegy was really interesting to read. And and then now reading everyone's comments and responses and things, it's also been really interesting. And as a social studies scholar and a historian, I'm heading to DC in a couple weeks for the National Council for Social Studies, and I'm looking forward to some continued discussion about um, just everything that's gone on, and how this is kind of going to be considered a historical presidency, for better or for worse, and we are yet to really know that. So um, I have really appreciated all of your commitment this semester. It's really come through. It's Y'all are challenging me to think about how I could do more. I know foster parenting is kind of my outlet for community service or support, but I do think that I could do more to support educational environments, and I'm hoping to reach out to a few of you who are near enough, that maybe I can find a way to help rally some support. We are, can suffer some in higher ed from having that ivory tower syndrome, and I do think West Georgia is a lot less like that than other places that we really do value um, practical applications and actually getting involved and getting out there and supporting. But I think there's always room and opportunity for us to consider more of the realities of teaching today. And so this will, all of this has been a very reflective time, particularly this semester. And this module is really to reflect on and to consider what next. Like, I know we just had the video of what now, and this is kind of taking that a step further and thinking about social justice and thinking about things that you can do tangibly to support efforts of making our educational system, making our nation more just for everyone. And so this is, to me, going to be even more important in the current political times, but it wasn't any less important with if Hillary had been elected, that wouldn't have been a magic cure and we would have all respected all people. Like, that's kind of a delusional idea too. So I don't think there's any less reason to do this work or to get engaged and involved. And the last thing that you are working on is your final project. And I did really individualize this, but I do need you to understand that I'm expecting this to be a significant project. If you are writing or adding to your dissertation, then you should be submitting to me 5 to 10 well-written, well-documented pages of that lit review. If you are doing a professional development or doing an activity with your school, I want to see the materials. I want you to reflect on the experience, and I would really think that I should get some artifacts from the participants that just kind of share what their thinking was after a result of that. So I wanted this to be meaningful to you, and I wanted it to be something that is relevant for you. And so I've been working with you. If you still don't think I know or you know what your final project is, please just email me at Weska. The the um, the Dropbox is not really very conducive to back and forth. I had really wanted you to go back and forth with me via email, which I think I had mentioned, and then just put the final idea in Dropbox so that I can compare what we finalized with what we went back and forth with. And that some of you didn't do that and you started to use the Dropbox to go back and forth. Well, I can't really tell what's not new. And so I'd rather you email me if you don't think that I know what you're going to do, or if things change while you're doing it. And I totally understand, like, you might have had 5 teachers say yes, and then we only have 1 teacher, and then you have to shift how things go. That I understand that, but just keep me updated and keep me posted so that there's no surprises for anyone, because I don't want anyone not to do well because of this final project. But it is a big part of your assignments. So let me know if you have questions or concerns. Again, thank you for your participation. This will kind of be my last video to you, but I have really enjoyed working with all of you and then reading, and some of you are really making a difference in I know that you're exhausted, that it's really hard work, and I hope you know that we're your champions, and I see several of your cohort members are cheering you on, and that I hope we can continue to rally behind those of you who are at the front lines of some of this work. So thank you. I've enjoyed it, and I look forward to your final projects. It's due at noon on Friday, December 2nd, so it's noon on Friday, so don't get kind of confused by that. Thanks.